Hello everyone and welcome to the pep talk for week 9, WordPress site building. The site building part is that you're going to start deciding what pages do you already have content for, what pages do you need content for, and what special functions do you need to work with, like a contact form or a catalog or things like that. But the branding piece, which is the hard coding part, is where we're going to be figuring out how we make the theme that you selected look like the brand of the site that you've been working on before. We're going to talk a little bit about the schedule. We're in week 9 now. Week 10, you're going to be really focusing on what you need to do over the next 5 or 6 weeks, and we'll do a little bit more work on PHP. And then week 11 is the Thanksgiving week, where I'm not going to give you any new work, but you can catch up on work that hasn't been done. So, 3 big practices this week. First of all, you have to have a repository. That means that you are saving all of the files from your theme in a place where if you screw one of them up, you can grab another one and go and place it in its place. So doing edits on your theme without a repository is a really bad idea. Also, we want you to edit in Sublime Text. Even though WordPress gives you a page where you could put edits in, you could switch, leave out a character or something and make your site die. So Sublime Text, once you save something where you've pasted code in a file type, like if it's a PHP file, you saved it as something.php, or it's a CSS file, you saved it as something.css, an HTML file, you saved it as something.html. Once you do that in Sublime Text, it gives you all of the highlighting the colors of the different letters that show you how to edit the code. You really want to do that at this stage. And the last thing is not to panic. If you're somebody who tends to panic and you know who you are, then don't wait until the last moment and get help. And I'm asking everybody to announce that they are able to help once they've finished assignment A. And if I'm on vacation this week, as I've told you in the other video, so I really don't want to be helping anybody. But if you've already gotten help from other people and it's not enough and you need my help, then email me and tell me when you're available and we'll see what we can do. Okay, so branding your site. Brand, if you think about cattle brands, it's when you burn a little symbol onto your cow and then you know what ranch it's from. And so in websites, you have a logo, you have a font, you have site colors, and maybe in this particular site you have that they make things that look like car dashboards. But when we're going to make a new site, we want to think about keeping the logo because the logo is the most important branding element. Maybe keeping the fonts and maybe bringing some color in so that people recognize that they're in the same place. But you can change that. So in this new site, the theme I brought in had none of the colors and a different logo. And so I needed to start making some changes. And what I ended up doing was getting the logo in there and putting this color in. I didn't finish the work because we still have fonts that need to be changed. We still have different highlight colors, but it's a start. There's 4 ways of modifying your site. The WordPress settings is where you could say the site title, a tagline, or slogan, but that's not going to help you with any branding. Branding end is done with your theme, GUI, that stands for Graphical User Interface. And depending on your theme, as I said last week, you either can change many things here or just a few things. It's in appearance and then customize. So your happy place is if it says change site logo here, because then to change a logo is just uploading a new file. But in my case, I didn't get to do that. So that's one GUI, the GUI of your theme. The second GUI is the GUI of SiteGround, and that's where you can use SiteGround's file manager to replace a file that's in the theme. You could put in a background image or some kind of other decorative image just using CSS and media upload, but the logo is a special thing because that's an image on the page, because when you click on it you go to places. And so most themes have a header that has a logo positioned there, and either they let you change the logo through the GUI, or you can go into the theme and change that file in the theme. So number 3 is where you go into and find the file in the theme that you downloaded, and change that with the logo that you want. But section 4, which is the fun one, is where you're going to go and edit that PHP file in the theme and say, When you want the logo, go here for it. And so that's what my big focus, the prep talk video, is all about. So this week, there's two things you're going to do. You're going to take control of your site's branding by changing the logo and or the colors, and you're going to be indicating the development needs for your next 6 weeks so that you can have expectations for your client that are manageable. Your client should not be expecting that you're going to hand them a perfectly finished site at the end of this time. Your client should be providing you content, images, and text, and guidance. And at the end of this 6 weeks, you're going to be training your client to keep working on the site themselves. So you need to just figure out what stuff you have to do so that your client can survive. And if you have special functions like a catalog or even a contact form, your client isn't going to know how to do those. So we want to make sure we hit those special functions this week. So you're going to change the logo and theme element color, and you're going to also plan out your page content and special function needs. Let me go to that. I probably should just talk you through all of this. So as I said before, you're going to be changing the branding of your site by changing the logo and or a theme element color. Changing the logo is assignment A, 1A, and the theme element color is assignment 1B. And when you finish assignment 1A, announce yourself in the PHP template Q&A forum so you can help other people. So there's different things that can happen if you want to change the logo. If there's no logo on the WordPress theme now, then in order to put a logo in there, you'd have to write a whole lot more PHP and CSS than you probably are comfortable doing, unless you're a real whiz at this point. So feel free to dive into adding a space for a logo if you want to be very fancy, but my suggestion would be that you skip and go straight to A2. I'll know that you don't have a logo in your current theme, so it's okay. You don't have to tell me, hey, I had to only do A2 because I didn't have a logo in my theme. And if there's a customized menu where you can put up a logo, create, use that, and then go and do A2. If there's no customized menu that allows you to put up a logo, you can either use the file manager method, which involves you having to go into SiteGround and go to their file manager, and there could be a tricky part there with permissions. I'm not going to even go into that now, but we'll see if that happens to you or not. Or you're going to use the PHP templating method, which is what I spend my time in the video talking about. So since that's all talked about in the video, I'm not going to talk about all that here. But this is all about what's in the video. Now, assignment, and this tells you the helper and the whole helpee, how they can work with each other once you need help trying to do that. Assignment 2 I'll talk about now. There's two kinds of information you need to know. What is the readiness of your page content, and what are the special page functions that you need. For page content, if there's an old site there and you're just copying content from the old site to the new site, then that's all you're doing. If there's some new pages that you know that you need that are not on the old site, then you need to be talking with your client about getting the content for those new pages. If you are doing Greenfield Digital, then you and I need to be talking. So I'm expecting to get questions from you about what to do about the new content there. Special functions, different people's sites have different kinds of special functions, like a catalog, a donation button, whatever. And so if that's your situation, you're going to need to work that out with me or on your own before you hand the site over to the client, because the client's not going to know how to do that. And ultimately, at the end of figuring all these things out, you're going to have a new crawl sheet. And so you're going to upload that new crawl sheet with two new columns. One column that says status, and that's the status of the content, and then one column called special, and that's whether or not there's special functions in the site. Okay, I think I've probably gone over everything that I need to go over. Best of luck.